All right, let's try that again. The mic was off, and we are live. Okay, I really wish that. Welcome to the Before My Morning Poop podcast. We have random strange news from around the internet. Today we have, okay, here's the thing. I just did this whole thing last 5 minutes and it was perfect. I had my whole spiel going. I did the whole thing. It was all great. I pushed the little sting button back there. The sting threw me off. I muted my microphone and just talked about this for 10 minutes with no mic on. So we're doing it again. We're doing it again now. All right, we got Hester Jordan Birkeland, a 69-year-old North Carolina resident who was arrested in Disneyland in Orange County, Florida, because she was found with CBD oil in her purse. All right, according to the police report, a Disney security guard contacted an Orange County deputy on the suspicion that Burkhalter's oil contained THC. The report states Burkhalter refused to answer the question if her CBD contained THC, the psychoactive ingredient in cannabis that produces a high. After the Orange County deputy arrived on scene, the bottle of CBD was then tested for any suspected THC oil. Although the bottle stated that there was zero THC within the oil, the test kit turned red. Oh no. Indicating a positive result for the presence of the ingredient. Burkhalter was then arrested for being high at Disneyland. No, that's not true. It's not what she was. After Burkhalter's arrest, the great-grandmother's story was picked. What are we doing? What? The great-grandmother's story was picked up by Orlando's Fox affiliate, Fox 35, and the local station report helped out Burkhalter, as the station claims prosecutors dropped all of the charges after reporters started asking questions, which is great. So, I don't know how to describe this to you guys. CBD is you know what? Here, we're just gonna look it up here. All right, okay, here we go. So CBD, cannabidiol, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say any of these things. I should have been prepared. Hold on. So, CBD, also known as, say the word.
Cannabidiol.
Cannabidiol. I don't think that's right. It's a naturally occurring compound found in the resinous flower of cannabis, a plant with a rich history as a medicine going back thousands of years. So, it helps with neurological disorders and metabolic things like diabetes. It can also help with autism, PhD. God damn, you know who doesn't have a PhD? PTSD, colitis, and Crohn's. I don't know if you've had anybody that suffers from colitis or Crohn's, but anybody around them is also suffering, because that is just, it's just bad. It's bad for everybody involved. Nobody wants it. Anyways, okay. So this 69-year-old woman just got arrested for her CBD oil, which is usually used for things like autoimmune diseases, neurological conditions, right? Like Alzheimer's and dementia. Parkinson's, it's really good for people that shake or have seizures. That could really help them with that. So this woman almost got arrested for these things in Florida, in Disneyland. Rightfully so. Grandma shouldn't be getting lit with Mickey. So I guess Burkhalter, the grandmother, she started using that CBD stuff for her arthritis after her doctor in North Carolina recommended that she start taking it. So, and she also apparently had the note from her doctor saying that she was prescribed this from a medical doctor. They still tried to arrest her. So according to the law enforcement, though, she's still arrested because CBD is still illegal in Florida, not Carolina. Remember, this is all municipal stuff, not like, you know, the larger scope here. Even though gas stations, smoke shops, and drugstores around the Sunshine State have their shelves stocked with CBD products, law enforcement can still arrest and press felony charges against someone who possesses the medicinal product. I don't understand any of that. So this is like a sample of society moving on, but the law's not catching up. I think is all this would be. because I don't, they have a lot of these things here too in Canada, which where you're able to do things, but it's still illegal. Not weed anymore. That's whatever. Anyways. Okay, so apparently so I'm reading here. Sorry, Burkhalter's lawyer Jennifer Cinnabon told Fox 35 that a little drop of oil with the CBD is a felony. That was the oldest way to say with the CBD. He got a little drop of oil with the CBD. You kids aren't doing the CBD, are you? Anyways, it's a felony. I digress. Meanwhile, you can have up to 19.9 grams of leaf marijuana. And it's a first-degree misdemeanor. 19.9 grams. So under 20. All right. Although Orange County law enforcement claims this is a lawful arrest because possession of CBD oil is currently a felony under Florida state statute, deputies are responsible for enforcing Florida law and Orange County ordinances. The Orange County Police Department released the following statement to Heavy. Okay, although CBD oil is illegal without a prescription, our top drug enforcement priority and focus at the Orange County Sheriff's Office is to get deadly drugs like heroin and fentanyl off the streets of our community. I don't know what that has to do with marijuana. Here's the thing I got a question for too. When they talk about, you don't know where you're getting stuff when you're buying marijuana from your friends and shit like that. There's people that are smoking marijuana their whole life. What are the? How often have you had some marijuana that was fucking laced with something? Usually you got to go out of your way to get extra. I've never run into a problem in, I don't know, maybe in 20 years, 15 years, 8, 12 years, whatever the fuck it is. It's been a long time. Never had a problem. And I believe majority of the people are that way. So I don't know who's lacing their marijuana with heroin and fentanyl. But, yeah. But anyways, the charges against Burkhalter were dropped by the prosecutors. So despite the fact that Orange County Police Department Captain Carlos Torres said that the deputy was following Florida law, the prosecutors eventually did drop all the charges against Burkhalter. Good job. Okay, so what else we got here? Okay, on this particular case, the deputy encountered a substance that he knew was to be illegal. This is about the case. He tested it, and at that point, he developed probable cause to make the arrest. So their defense is he was doing his job. It's a risk because you don't know what you're buying. Once again, just because you are buying it at a store does not make it okay or doesn't make it legal. It doesn't even make it safe for you to purchase. And I would agree with that. If you are buying your CBD oil from Frank's gas station at the corner of your block that has one working pump and he's got 3 working teeth, maybe don't be buying your CBD oil from that location. Just saying. You never know what you're getting. But I would go out of my way maybe to say, you know what? I'm not even going to talk. I'm going to back right off of all that. Never mind. All right. So we have a statement from the lawyer also. Very disappointed that the Orange County Sheriff's Office handled the situation the way it did. Why Sheriff Mina would support his deputies using their resources for a CBD oil arrest of a 69-year-old woman, but then won't do anything about the gas stations, food stores, drug stores, etc. that are selling it to the open public is absolutely beyond my comprehension. I think it just takes time for them to do things like that. They obviously know they're doing it. I don't think they're not doing nothing. The state of Florida finds nothing wrong with collecting the sales tax on illegal products, but they allow prosecution for possession of the same. I want to commend Amaris Alia's office. Amaris Alias. That sounds like a fucking Star Wars character. for reviewing the case and swiftly determining that they would not prosecute. All right, obviously this is the first time that this woman's ever been arrested. This whole thing with all this stuff's becoming a very confusing time. But that's that story, I guess. One story down. Okay. Well, moving on to doing some Reddit stories here. It's what Reddit we going for here? What Reddit? What are we doing? r/confessions. All right, let's go. I ghosted my boyfriend of 5 years. Okay. I came over to his house one morning to surprise him with breakfast and a video game he wanted. Goddamn. Only to find him naked, asleep, and with his ex curled up in his arms. He didn't hear me come in, so I closed the bedroom door. He didn't hear me come in, so I closed his bedroom door and left his breakfast and game on the kitchen counter along with my key to his house. I went to my car, deactivated my Facebook, and blocked him on all other forms of social media. I then called my phone provider to change my number before driving off. She did all this before even getting in her, before even leaving the location. I texted family members and close friends that we were no longer together and to block him on social media as well. I didn't tell them why. I was in a position to end the lease at my apartment early, and I started a new job in a different city later that week. I completely removed myself from him and didn't offer a shred of explanation or opportunity for dialogue. I disappeared from his life after his betrayal, and I think it'll not only help me to focus on myself without his presence, but I think completely shutting myself off from him will hurt worse than anything when he thinks on how good he had it with me these last 5 years. I mean, you're doing good up until that little vindictive part at the end there. I think completely shutting myself off from him will hurt worse than anything he thinks on. Oh, let me read this again. I think completely shutting myself off from him will hurt worse than anything when he thinks, there should be a comma there, when he thinks on how good he had it with me. Well, I mean, you're just coming over to surprise him with some breakfast and a video game. Jesus Christ. But I mean, that's gotta make you feel sick to find your significant other there with somebody else. Not even somebody else, somebody you know, his ex. I think ghosting here was honestly, the completely appropriate response to this. I wonder what game she left him on the counter. So she walked into his house. She obviously has a key. This guy's an idiot, first off. She's bringing him video games. Like, get out of here. I once left lesbian hentai in the search history on my family computer as a kid, and my dad took the blame for me. Sorry, Dad. I've been replacing my wife's coffee with decaf for 4 years. Why? My wife and I have been married for 4 years. Well, not anymore now. She knows you're switching to the decaf. When we met, she was a tiny little tear. Oh my, like a Tasmanian devil had a baby with Barbie. So freaking adorable and sweet, but she was a tornado. She drank like 6 cups of coffee every single day. So much caffeine for a tiny person. If you didn't know, this is like a wall of text, so I'm just trying to get through this. If you didn't know her, you would swear she was on drugs. I loved her so much that I knew I could put up with it if I had to. Wait, hold on, you loved her so much, but you had to put up with this very straining personality defect? Anyways, but if I didn't have to, I would try to find a way. Okay, so ignoring the obvious personality flaw, never mind. So the month before our wedding, I decided to try replacing her coffee with decaf to see if it made a change. And Lord have mercy, it was incredible. He wrote that in French. It was hell the first 2 weeks. She had the biggest attitude and was so crabby, but I knew we could make it through it. Afterwards, it was the best. She was still sweet and spunky and adorable, but she wasn't leaving a trail of destruction behind her anymore. What in God's name was she doing on the coffee? Like, This man makes it seem like she's just. I'm like at a loss for words here. Let me have my coffee while we're speaking of this. A trail of destruction behind her. I was amazed. So I decided that from that moment on, I would no longer supply her with regular coffee. I would make every Starbucks run. I would buy regular and decaf ground coffee so I could replace the regular coffee in the package with decaf coffee. Oh my God. Okay. The only time she has regular coffee is when she orders it herself, which is like maybe once a week. But it makes her really jittery and she doesn't understand why. It's been this way for 4 years. She has no idea. And I'm hoping to keep it at that. I'm hoping to keep it that way. We're talking about having kids the next year or so, and I'm hoping that I can convince her to go full decaf on her own at that time, and she won't have to keep this up anymore. It's just, I don't think maybe if maybe living your life based around her coffee schedule isn't the best idea for your relationship. It sounds really straining. So every day you have to go get the coffees. Man, I don't know. That sounds rough, dog. We got any updates here? We got some comments here on this one. Married 10 years. Life pro tip. Don't lie to your wife. And if you do, never admit the lie. Just don't lie to your wife, guys. Don't lie to people. How about that? How about that? Can that be the takeaway from this whole thing? Okay? Just don't lie. All right? And you won't have to buy your wife's. You won't have to run around living the secret coffee bean life in the background, scurrying around, replacing the decaf or replacing the caffeinated beans with decaf like it's fucking Mission Impossible. But you're replacing everything with beans. Just don't lie. Anyways, this has been the first episode of Before My Morning Poop. I guess we can just wrap that up. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you want to hear about. Tell me if there's any stories, what I need to focus on. All right. Bye. That was it. Where's my bumper? Plays my outro. Oh, God damn it. Oh, I started repeating.